going with my mind.
Maybe I am just going crazy. Maybe I am just going...
Excuse me, gentlemen. Head detective.
Jim Carrey. Who is Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey, real name James Eugene Carey, was born January 17, 1962 in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. He is a Canadian-American comedian who rose to prominence with a string of outrageous performances before garnering praise for his more somber roles as his career developed. Early life and career. James Eugene Carey, an actor and comedian, was born in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, on January 17, 1962. When Carey was only 15 years old, he performed stand-up in a comedy club in Toronto. He quit his factory work as a janitor in 1979 to focus on supporting his family, and by 1979, he was earning a living as the opening act for popular comics Buddy Hackett and Rodney Dangerfield. Carey traveled to Hollywood in 1983 to appear in the made-for-television film introducing Janet. Jim Carrey's unnatural act and other TV appearances by Carey paved the way for him to land a regular part on the popular sitcom In Living Color. Movies: Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask.
He's the best there is. Excuse me, gentlemen. Head detective.
Carey made his big screen debut with the 1984 comedy Finders Keepers, but he didn't achieve stardom until he took on the lead in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective in 1994. Following that, Carey's physical comedy, skillful imitation, and expressive visage kept the successes coming. The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, Batman Forever, The Cable Guy, and Liar were his subsequent films. The Truman Show, Man on the Moon.
Good morning!
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
In Peter Weir's The Truman Show, 1988, Carey had a successful dramatic performance as Truman Burbank, for which he received the Golden Globe for Best Actor. He next collaborated with renowned filmmaker Milos Forman in the 1999 Andy Kaufman movie Man on the Moon, which also starred Courtney Love. Carey won his second Golden Globe for his flawless depiction of Kaufman. Despite winning the Golden Globe, he didn't receive an Academy Award nomination. Despite this, he rose to become one of Hollywood's highest-paid performers, with a rumored $20 million asking price. Me, Myself, and Irene, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Eternal Sunshine.
I'll you with this, but your car is going to have to be moved.
Park it up behind the grocery store, will you, Charlie?
A doormat.
You people take checks?
You mean the black man?
No. Those things are...
In the comedy Me, Myself, and Irene from the summer of 2000, Carey played a character with two opposing personas who were both in love with the same woman. He played the title character in the long-awaited, high-budget motion picture adaptation of Dr. Seuss's beloved holiday tale, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, directed by Ron Howard, that fall while donning pounds of green makeup and fur. The actor co-starred with Jennifer Aniston in the 2003 film Bruce Almighty as a man with superhuman abilities. The next year, Carey acted in Charlie Kaufman's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind alongside Kate Winslet. Fun with Dick and Jane, Dumb and Dumber 2.
He's a loving husband.
You sure this is a good idea?
Just remind him to be a little less vocal.
With a promising career.
The big boys want to see you upstairs.
Carey continued to play a range of humorous parts, appearing in movies like Mr. Popper's Penguins, 2011, A Christmas Carol, 2009, and Fun with Dick and Jane, 2005. Additionally, he delighted in minor roles in Kick-Ass 2, 2013, and The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, 2013, both starring Steve Carell. For Dumb and Dumber 2, Carey and Jeff Daniels collaborated once again in 2014. Kidding.
There's a lovely light. It can never go out.
In the comedy series Kidding on Showtime in 2018, Carey makes his television debut as Jeff, a popular children's TV host whose family life starts to fall apart much more quickly than he can cope. Prior to Kidding, Carey was an executive producer on the Showtime dramedy I'm Dying Up Here, working behind the scenes. After a sabbatical of more than 3 years from the big screen, Carey made a comeback in early 2020 to play the villainous Dr. Robotnik in a remake of the well-known video game Sonic the Hedgehog from the 1990s. Paintings. Carey started taking his passion for painting seriously as his career as a big screen star began to decline. He published a 6-minute documentary titled I Needed Color in 2017, in which he discussed his love of art and displayed his finished pieces. This is the portrait of a so-called Christian whose only aim in life is to lie for the wicked. Carey tweeted in 2018 with an ugly image of someone who resembled White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Monstrous. A representative acknowledged that Carey performed the piece, but she would not disclose whether Sanders was the subject. Personal life and daughter. Jane is the child of Carey and Melissa Wummer, who were married from 1987 to 1995. He had a brief marriage to Dumb and Dumber co-star Lauren Holly before starting a year-long relationship with Renée Zellweger, who played his leading woman in Me, Myself, and Iron. Later, he started dating model/actress Jenny McCarthy. In 2015, Catriona White, Carey's girlfriend, overdosed on drugs and committed herself, according to the official report. White's mother and estranged husband both filed wrongful death lawsuits against Carey. However, the claims were ultimately dropped. While a struggling comic, Carey wrote himself a check for $20 million and carried in his wallet until he earned that paycheck for The Cable Guy. You know my worst nightmare. I end up in a sitcom called Jim's Place. I'm from outer space, an intergalactic cop who crashed into the Chicago River and meets up with an Earthling cop who solves crimes. That would be pretty bad. Oh, and if you ever hear that I signed up to do Ace Ventura 5, call me up and remind me to put a bullet in my head, okay? Carey on his fear of fame to Entertainment Weekly, August 5, 1994. Jim Carrey role in Living Color, that was a classic sitcom Fire Marshal Bill. Fire Marshal, one of Jim Carrey's most well-known characters from the comedic series In Living Color, Bill has a depressing backstory. Thanks to the triple threat of Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and The Mask, Jim Carrey became an instant Hollywood celebrity in 1994. Moviegoers all over the world loved his distinctive crazy humor and rubber-faced antics, and he eventually solidified his stardom by chewing up the scenery as the Riddler in 1995's Batman Forever. Jim Carrey enjoyed switching between studio comedies and more somber performances in films like The Truman Show during the height of his acting career. Carrey hasn't produced many films in the past 10 years, and after appearing in the 2013 sequel Kick-Ass 2, virtually repudiated the movie. He has become a little more busy in recent years, taking the lead in the Showtime comedy Kidding, and resuming his high-energy role as the antagonist Dr. Robotnik in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog. Gotham's Riddler just referenced Jim Carrey's Batman 4 version. Before making his big screen debut, Jim Carrey was best recognized for his role in the groundbreaking sketch series In Living Color, which was developed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. Along with Jamie Foxx subsequently joining the group in Season 4, many of Wayans' brothers, including Damon, Kim, and Sean, were also cast members. Carrey would remain with the program for all 5 seasons, playing recurrent roles like Fire Marshal Bill. Bill is a terrifying construct who frequently ends up horrifically maimed or blown up while trying to teach fire safety in various settings. The sinister beginning of this character was described by Carey in a retrospective interview with Thear in 2019. Jim Carrey's pre-star brilliance shone on In Living Color with his characters. I genuinely think Jim Carrey's remarkable blend of physical humor and reactionary humor speaks to kids in a way that few other comedians can. The first time I thought I may laugh myself insane was when I watched the Ace Ventura series premiere. The second time was when I saw Fire Marshal Bill on the show. This character was always a treat anytime he appeared, since he was delightfully odd, dark, and 100% Jim Carrey. That's it for today's video. Please like the video, subscribe the channel, and share it with others. Also press the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching.